Hey, morning guys. Okay, so I should have made a video of this entire process, but I knew it was going to be kind of stressful and I didn't know if it was going to work out. So like a dummy, I didn't because it worked perfectly. But I'm going to show you the aftermath of what I think is going to be my new favorite way to attach macroalgae, because obviously they don't have roots. And so sometimes gluing them or getting them to wedge between rocks can be a problem. So I'm going to turn this around and kind of show you what I did here this morning. Okay, so I woke up this morning and this orange galaxy right here was floating. Now, this orange galaxy is one of my faves. And of course, I don't have a lens on here, so it's really hard to see just how orange it really is. It's amazing. Anyway, so here's what I did. So I'm not done yet. If you see this fishing line, okay, right over here, because I'm about to cut that. So what I did was over here on the left side, over here, which you can't see, I put a dab of super glue in a hole, and then I stuck the end of the monofilament line in that hole and waited for it to dry. Then when it dried, I pulled it tight, like not super tight, but I pulled it kind of tight across and through the middle of the macroalgae, and then I glued it over here, you can see, on the other side. And then now that it's dry, I'm going to go in and clip it off right here, and basically you can't even tell. And so I'm hoping that that is going to hold it in place, because of course I find that to be the hardest part. Like this one was fairly easy because it's very rigid. It had a very long stem, so I could just stick it in between the two rocks. These fingers have plenty of little arms that I was able to use, like my trusty tweezers. And I found a nice like hole in the back of the rock here. And I was able to just like weave one of the arms through. This macroalgae, I just wedged it between the two rocks. My blue hypnea is just wedged between the rocks. I did glue this little tiny, where is it? Right here, this little tiny chunk of fern algae right there I glued. And then I glued this purple dragon's breath. I glued this regular dragon's breath. So this wire algae is just kind of wedged between the rocks. There's a little chunk of blue hypnea. So anyways, just trying to figure out how to get all these positioned and not coming loose has been kind of a little bit of an issue, but I think I'm figuring it out. The tank is doing great. Big shout out again to Mosaic Macros for hooking me up. All of the macros are still alive, so if I kill them at this point, it'll all be my fault. Everything came in perfect condition and everything is growing great. So anyways, if you have a stubborn macroalgae, and you need a way to try to hold it in place, I think this little trick with the monofilament worked great. So anyways, I'm going to go in and trim that, and then I'll follow up and show you guys what it looks like. All right, so there you have it. I trimmed it, and basically you can't even tell. Obviously, the little bit of glue that I have here will soon cover with algae, but hopefully that will hold it in place and it'll all grow around there. So there you have it, macroalgae tank. It is only about 10 days old as far as having macroalgae in the tank, and everything is growing excellent. I'm super happy. There's another one actually glued, one of those as well, just to see, and then it's sprouting and doing great. The rest of these ones have roots, so they're the only ones that are easy to just shove into the ground. They'll grow anywhere. And a little look over at my sister tank. These are both F-Zone 10-gallon all-in-ones. This one's kind of like my Reef, mixed Reef tank. And then obviously my brand new macroalgae tank, which is my new favorite. Anyways, guys, shout out. Let me know if you have any super tricks and what you do to attach macroalgae in your tank. I'd love to hear some new ideas. I think this one, though, was pretty damn good.